This gown belonged to Deborah Sampson, who dressed in men's clothes and enlisted in the Massachusetts 4th Regiment in 1782 under the alias of Robert Shirtliff. Sampson served until a surgeon treating her for illness discovered her true identity and she was honorably discharged. Family history has it that this gown is the one that Deborah Sampson wore on the day of her wedding in 1785 to Benjamin Gannett. The gown, on loan from Historic New England, was donated to them by the family in 1998. To discuss the gown in more detail, we'll be talking to Jana Violante, a specialist in 18th century clothing.
This gown is a round gown or an apron front gown, meaning that the skirt section of the dress is the same fabric all the way around. And it actually ties around the waist at the back and then closes down the center front with pins. Deborah Sampson wore this gown on her wedding day in 1785. What's really fascinating about this dress is the number of alterations that were made from the original 1770 gown to then fit Deborah Sampson. She was around 5'7", and we can kind of tell that by looking closely at this dress. There's actually a very slight seam right around the hip where they've added 5 inches so that it would reach the floor appropriately. These observations are based on a very comprehensive study by Sharon Bernstein, who was able to look at this gown up very close with a microscope. There's also a good amount of added or pieced fabric in the arm or right at the bicep region, which tells us that she was probably a pretty muscular, kind of athletic body type. If you were looking at this gown then, you might think that the print was a little bit of a large scale, slightly unfashionable. And that is because the copper plates that were used to print this fabric were actually originally used for upholstery or like home furnishing. And they must have printed some extra cotton linen yardage on gown fabric and sold it as gown fabric.